takes about 20 seconds to
Mm. You just do what you need to do. We'll play it by ear.
Just go with the flow.
Mm.
I need to remember to mute YouTube as soon as I get it up. I want the feedback. Hello, we are live. We are live. That is it. Right. Oh, and I passed 100 subscribers, Partha. That's great.
Well done.
I've been trying to get past 100 subscribers because then you can change your URL. So that
in no time, it will be 1,000.
Well, I'm really happy. I can celebrate that. 103 subscribers I've got now. If you're just tuning in, we've got some people tuning in already. If you're just tuning in, please, if you don't already, subscribe to the channel, and you can keep up to date with everything we've got going on. So I have the wonderful Partha Kar with me, and Professor Partha Kar, to give you your full title. That's correct, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you only became a professor recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, time seems to have melted away right now with all the COVID and everything. But yeah, it was, I think, towards the end of last year-ish, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you putting it on your social media. What makes you a professor? What do you do to become a professor?
I don't know. I think it mostly is the kindness of other people, and I'm not even sort of trying to say that do some sort of humble brag, because I think, you know, you look at people who are professors, like, you know, hear about Campty and things, well-deserved, probably even a fraction of that. But, you know, I was given that honor by Leicester University, and very kind of them. I think probably a lot due to the policy work and etc. that I do. So yeah, but you know, it's nice. It's nice to have. I won't say no, but probably less deserving than a lot of other people out there, I would say. Oh,
well, it's very humble of you. What I was going to say is the first time we met was at the Promise Ball in Leeds, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Yeah, JDRF Promise Ball.
JDRF yes. Promise Ball, organised by Debbie and Ella Marsden, which is on this year on World Diabetes Day, actually. It's on World Diabetes Day. So there's a little plug for Debbie and Ella. I am planning on going. Are you going to be there this year? Do you know?
I will. Debbie, I think, sort of asked me. Yeah, so definitely. I will be there as well.
Oh, I hope we're sitting together again, because we both like rum, don't we?
We do like rum. Yes, we definitely like rum.
I remember drinking rum that night. But you also like whiskey, like my husband, and I'm not a whiskey fan.
Yeah, so I think, you know, I mean, I think it's probably sort of changed over the sort of years as I've grown older. So I think it's just, I like good alcohol. So I suppose that's probably the way to say it. So different parts of my life: rum, whiskey, then gin. But yeah, so going through different things at the moment.
And so we've got quite a few people watching. Please do send your questions in, guys. Myself and Partha will happily answer any questions you have this evening. So do just put them in the comments on the YouTube channel. So you are, is it Malaysia your parents are from? Is it Malaysia they're from?
No, they're from India. So India is where originally
Malaysia. Why did I have Malaysia?
Must be the high cheekbone. Beautiful high cheekbones. Must be that. Must be
so
that.
Are they in India at the moment, or are they with you in the UK?
Well, sort of halfway house. I mean, they came here so we flew them over for their 50th wedding anniversary.
Yeah,
and the plan was, so which was brilliant. And then, unfortunately, obviously, they could not fly back. So at the moment, they're with my sister, because we thought it would be safe for them to be there, given that I'm at work in the hospital and stuff. So yeah, so they're there and not very happy, but there you go. So they're pretty much on lockdown because of their age. So yeah, that's where they are.
I suppose for you, at least, you know that they're nearby. They're not
absolutely.
far away, which must be a comfort for you.
Yeah.
Are you working on the wards a lot at the moment then, Partha?
Yeah, I am at the moment. So our local hospital, QA, Portsmouth, Queen Alexandra, lots of amazing work going there. So yeah, I am. But it's starting to, you know, touch wood, starting to look like it's turning a corner. Cases are less. So fingers crossed, all the hard work people are doing sort of evens out, and we can get out of this nightmare, so to speak.
Yeah. And have you had many cases there at Queen Alexandra Hospital?
Yeah, we've had, at a certain point of time, we had a fair few. And in all fairness, I think colleagues who do chest medicine or ITU and stuff, they've seen a lot of it. We've seen far less than others. But our job, to be honest, it's been to support them, or people with diabetes who come and support them. But no, as I said, the good news is that everything seems to be going in the right direction. So that's a lot of.
Yeah,
and I think,
I thought that looking at the recent graphs and stuff, everything seems to be. Doing what it should.
Fingers crossed. I think, you know what? I mean, I think the best news is that we see more people getting discharged home, and that's really nice to see. So yeah, I think that's very positive, I would say.
Yeah, a girl I went to school with was in ICU for 2 or 3 weeks, I think. She got discharged last Friday, but it was really touch and go. Like, she's my age, 34. But like, it really, at points, we didn't think she was going to fall through. But she got discharged last Friday, which it's just such a relief for everyone. I'm not a close friend of hers, but I kept checking in on her at social media to see the family's updates, and then to see the video of her coming out and all the nurses and doctors clapping. Oh, it's just like,
that's nice, very nice,
so emotional. And we've got loads of people watching, which is great, but they're all very quiet this week. Got more watching than usual, but not as many questions. Don't be shy to ask Partha a question, because Partha is he's a lovely chap, and he's happy to answer questions. In the meantime, though, have you got a drink, Partha?
I have. I've got a Irish whiskey with me.
Right. I've got some Lefroy. We discussed this one. I'm not a whiskey drinker, so I'm going to pour myself a very small one. Have you got ice in yours?
I do have ice in mine. It's an Irish whiskey, so I put ice.
I've got. Oh, see, do you don't have Scottish whiskey with ice, do you?
No ice on the Scottish whiskey.
No. I didn't think you had it with an eye. There's not much left in this bottle. But I'm going to pour myself a really tiny one. I'm going to try and enjoy it with you.
Okay.
But then afterwards, I will be having a rum, because I like rum. If you're at home watching and you've got your favourite tipple in your hand, comment and let us know what it is. Let me know what you like to drink. Actually, that's not that small. I did that a bit big. James loves whiskey. Our house, like, he says he needs a restock. He's probably got about 10 bottles on the go, but he says he needs to restock all the time. So I'm going to have a taste. I'm going to try and enjoy it. I did go to a whiskey festival with James, and I did a whiskey cocktail making class, which I really enjoyed. it. But obviously this is just whiskey on its own.
Cheers.
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 Cheers, Partha.
What do you think, Jade?
Not as bad as I remembered it. It's so like warm, isn't it? It kind of warms.
So while you're doing that, can I tell a story about you? I can. Yeah. So
I don't know what you're going to tell.
Well, there you go. So so to those who are listening or have tuned in, so as Jade mentioned, we met at the Leeds Ball, and I remember asking her to, and I knew that she was doing all the show, which was Pricks, and then she kindly accepted an invite to come to talking about diabetes, which she did. And we deliberately, obviously, didn't film the whole thing, because we would like to encourage people to go and watch that, but without any reason, because there's no, we are doing this to each other as a favor. One of the best things I've ever watched in my life, sitting there in the audience that day, Jade, in the Talking About Diabetes, your show, which was probably one of the most moving things we saw. It was brilliant. It was, I think you saw the audience, how moved they were. So to those who haven't seen Jade perform, I would definitely encourage you to go and do that, because it was very moving, very touching, and a lot of respect for you for that. So it's great.
Oh, Partha, like, honestly, I am an emotional person, so like I might cry, but thank you so much for that. We've got a couple of comments coming in the meantime. To be honest, I'm coming to Portsmouth, and obviously I was coming to Portsmouth, and then the tour got cancelled. I am still coming to Portsmouth. It's been rebooked, the show, so I'm going to bring it down in October. I can't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but I am definitely bringing it back to your neck of the woods. Don't worry.
And we'll make sure our department goes as a
Yeah.
team to sort of enjoy that evening. So let me know the date and stuff. We would love to go
Yeah,
and support you
I
as well.
definitely will. Don't worry. Liz Freeman says, hi, Partha and Jade. It's Liz from Jersey.
Yeah, hello, Liz.
Hi, Liz. DSN Forum UK. Now, which one of you is it? Which one of you? Let me know. Comment and tell me which one of it actually is. Trying a new gin tonight, Orange and Blossom. Just the one, as it's a school night. Oh, Orange and Blossom.
Orange and Blossom. That's going to be. Is that going to be Beth? I reckon on DSN Forum probably.
Probably Beth. I like gin. I do like a gin. I'm not a massive tonic fan though. And what I find when you go out is a lot of the tonics, a lot of the bars do Fever Tree tonic, and their slimline tonic isn't actually sugar free. It's got about 8 grams of carbs in, which is good to know. So if you like a gin and tonic and you type 1, 7 point something grams of carbs there is in the Fever Tree slimline or whatever they call their light one, whatever it's called. So I prefer it with lemonade though. I prefer gin with lemonade, and you can't get diet lemonade out.
Can I ask you something? So, things like, for me, I've always said that, when we as, doctors, we go to medical school, we learn X, Y, and Z, read books and whatever papers, and you try and do diabetes care as best as you can. So you said something about how much, carbs it's in it. Where did you learn that from? Do you learn that as you go along and you pick it up, or was there like somebody to right, that's a course, that's a Fever Tree, that's what? I presume that doesn't happen like that. I presume the majority of people learn it on the job, inverted commas. So to speak.
I mean, it's all right with soft drinks, obviously, because it tells you on the label. I just asked. Someone had said to me that Fever Tree. It was 2 or 3 years ago. I was doing Slimming World, and someone said the Fever Tree Slimline isn't free on Slimming World, but the Schweppes one is. So I thought, oh, hang on, that probably means I need to have a look at the label. So when I was next in a bar, I just asked the barman if I could have a look at the bottle. I said I needed to look at the nutritional information in it, and that's when I realised it had carbs in it. You know what? I kind of learned on the job, but I did learn a lot doing the Daphne course. Is it called Daphne down in Portsmouth?
Daphne, yeah, Daphne, brilliant. Very good type 1 diabetes course. Yeah.
Adjustment for normal eating. I learned more from that than I thought I was going to learn, because when I was diagnosed, we had to carb count everything anyway. So, because I was only allowed, I think it was something like 20 grams or 30 grams of carbs for my breakfast. And then at about 10:30, I had a 10-gram snack. Then at 12 o'clock, I had to have 40 grams for my lunch. And that's how we had to remember everything back then.
Yeah.
But so I've always had a good kind of sense as to what carbs are in what anyway, from knowing from a really young age. But then I did the Daphne course and learned stuff about baked beans that I'd never known. Like, you don't count all the carbs in baked beans, you only count the carbs in the sauce, things like that.
Yeah.
And I think it was, I don't know if it was then or if I already had the app, but the diabetes nurse had told me at some point to download that Carbs and Calories app. That's super helpful. I use that all the time. If I go out for a meal, I'll always type into the carbs and calories if I'm not sure. I mean, I think I'm quite good at guessing, but if I'm not quite sure about something, I tend to check on there.
So do you know what? Shall I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
The people who do Daphne, so they will love you saying this, because I always give them a hard time. I mean, the funny thing is that most of them are my really good friends. So, especially, people like Emma Wilmot,
I know Emma,
and you know Pratik and me. Pratik and Emma are very good friends. And I tend to always give them a hard time. Like, what is the point of Daphne? Tell me, what is it? Who wants to sit in a class and listen to people drone on for 5 days? But I think it's great. It's great to hear that, because, and I deliberately push them, because for me, I see a lot of people who say, look, because of my work or my job, I can't sort of sit in a class. So can I have something online? So I keep on pushing them, saying, come on, guys, come up with something a little bit modern. It's 2020. It's not 1985. But it's great to hear that. So,
it's really funny that you say that, because I was on the waiting list for a long time because of the job I had at the time. I was doing, as well as acting, I was also working 5 days a week, but just in term time, 4 days a week, so just in term time, doing sales and marketing for a music company. And I had to take my holidays in the school holidays. So I kept pushing them to do one in the school holidays. So I was like, what do you do if you're school teacher and you want to do Daphne? Like, you can't take a week out. And they're like, well, you have to. And it wasn't until I finished that job that I then did it. And honestly, Partha, it is the best 5 days I ever as a type 1 diabetic, because I got to spend 5 days in a room with 5 other people that completely understood and got it. Like,
Right then.
and
So,
I've never had the opportunity before to mix with other type 1s, not like I do now. Now I know loads of people. And that, it was like a week of therapy for me. I learned so much about myself in that week and about my diabetes, which I thought I knew everything about it already, and I learned loads of new stuff. But it was actually the bonding with other type 1s, which was the best part, I thought. We've got a few more comments. So Liz can't wait to see Pricks. Liz, I can't wait for you to see Pricks. So Liz is in Jersey. Oh, wasn't Liz?
Liz, you should come around. You should come to Portsmouth when she comes around. You should come around and watch it with us.
Liz. I think it might be Beth. Oh, they're both watching. DSM Forum, they're both watching.
Very good.
So they've seen it. Jade with Fab, we cried. Oh, sorry, I made you cry. I do make a lot of people cry. Sorry. Liz says, that's just like I had to do, Jade, with carb counting. Oh, she must have had to do the same thing. And now she says I can calculate how much is on a plate by looking at it and not often that wrong. 39 years of experience. I'm 30 years for me, Liz. And I remember when I was filming, I did this little thing with DigiBeat.
That's a good group. That's a good bunch of people, aren't they? Yeah, phenomenal.
So we've made a video for secondary schools, and I organised it, and I got Johnny Labby to do it, and an actress called Kate Bracken to do it with us. And then we also did the little superhero filming at the same time for World Diabetes Day. And that's what Johnny Labby said his superpower was, being able to look at a plate and know how many carbs are on it. And I quite like that. Mine was, I think my superpower, I said, was being able to drink a juice carton as like super fast or something like that, because literally when you have a hypo, like, you can get rid of one of them like 2 or 3 seconds, honestly, if you do it quick enough. But I love hearing stuff. 39 years, Liz, and you've had to learn like that, so you must find it easier now the way we manage it. And send us more comments, keep chatting to me. You sound, I don't know, have I met Liz? Have I met you? I don't think I have met you, have I? I have a feeling we might have spoken on email before.
I think Liz has been trying for a long time to get to TAD, and I think if my memory is correct, she has got a ticket. So hopefully the rescheduled version happens and everything goes to plan.
And I'll get to meet her there.
You get Liz,
yeah. I'm gonna go, and I'll be on JJRF's stall with my copies of Daisy Donald. If anyone wants my copy of Daisy Donald. But yeah, I'll be there. So yeah, hopefully we've got loads of people watching. This is fab, guys. If you're watching, please click subscribe below. I'm really happy because we've gone over 100 subscribers today. So thank you everyone for following and supporting me. So me and Partha, I'm drinking. If you've only just joined us, I see the numbers keep creeping up. If you've only just joined us, we've both got whiskey right now.
Yeah.
If you've got a drink, send us a comment. Let us know what you're drinking. Oh, this is like, I'm sipping it, but it does go to your head a bit, whiskey, doesn't it? Or is it just?
That's okay. I'll leave the questions for you later on. Drink harder, Jade. Now we'll get to the other questions about you in a short time.
Like, you have seen me drunk before.
I have. Yeah.
Lots of people have. Yeah. Johnny Labby commented when I did the live with him. He commented on me being drunk. Because on World Diabetes Day we were at the same event, and yes, I was quite drunk then. I do like a drink.
Why not indeed?
But I tend to go for a sugar-free drink, so something with a diet mixer or wine is the worst for me. Liz says so she said she said a couple of things. When first diagnosed, 30 grams for breakfast, 20 mid-morning. Fab to hear I was the same. She says she's got a ticket, but unfortunately can't make the September date. Is it September? Gosh, Liz, you know more than me, right? It might be September.
Yeah, I think it's September, but not to worry. We can organise something later on.
Oh, she's talking about TAD. She's talking about TAD. I thought she was talking about Pricks. It's
Yeah,
I
no,
can't remember when Prix is in Portsmouth. Oh, that's
yeah.
a shame if you can't make TAD in September.
She can make TAD. She can make the Prick show, can't she, in Portsmouth,
That's
if she
what I'm
can.
thinking. I'm just wanting her to clarify whether it's definitely TAD she's talking about. She's on the charity diabetes jersey that was contacting me. I knew I'd been talking to someone in Jersey. We were trying to cost out how much it would cost to get Pricks over there, but with the boat, because we'd have to go on a boat because of the set, so we could take the van on a boat, and it was just extortionate to go on a boat. And in the end, it just wasn't affordable. We couldn't do it within budget. But they were really trying. The charity were really trying to get me over there, and I really would love to go because I've never actually been to Jersey.
So Jade, question for you in return. So have you in your previous episode spoken about your experience at the Edinburgh Fringe? Because you talk a lot about, because that to me, because there's so much praise came out of the Edinburgh Fringe for what you were doing. Have you spoken about that previously in your episodes?
Not much, no. It feels like it was quite a long time ago now, really, actually. It was, it's August 2018. They cancelled the Edinburgh Fringe this year. And I was just like, I would be, if that had happened in 2018, I think I would have been brokenhearted. Like, I would have really struggled to get over that because that's what launched Pricks. That was the showcase. That was,
you got loads of praise for it. I mean, online, and your feedback there was absolutely brilliant, which is well deserved. But it was brilliant to see that, because Edinburgh Fringe is always talked about as such a big breakthrough event for a lot of people.
Yeah, it did do well. I invested a lot into the marketing side of things, like not as much as some people. So I tried to make it so that people would see it, basically.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I think that helped because it brought the audiences in, and most of the audiences weren't type 1. I'd have the odd 1 or 2 people with type 1 in the audience, but most of them weren't. They were just people that thought the title was funny and wanted to come and see what it was. And people loved it. It went down really well. And I mean, it was. I thought I would have struggled. I was really, and that's how come I ended up. So I went on Libra just before I went to Edinburgh, on Freestyle Libre, because my consultant Shafi was concerned about me being in Edinburgh on my own for some of it, and
that is a good man.
Oh, oh my God, he deserved, like.
So those of you who are listening and have not heard of Shafi, so Shafi is very opposite to characters like me. So I will go out and tell people, everybody, even if I don't know, just sat on the sofa, I will tell everybody about how amazing it was, how the way I sat on the sofa. While Shafi will probably not tell anybody, even if he climbs Mount Everest. That's probably a fair, that's the fair description. Shafi Kamaruddin, absolutely brilliant, top-notch diabetologist, and a lot of people don't know, Ahmad, I don't know whether you know this, Jade. So without Shafi, Libra probably wouldn't have happened in the NHS at all. You know, he was the first person. So he did one of the best works to begin with about, setting the first raft of criteria. So Shafi was amazing at pushing things through.
He
so
plays it down like he's just like, oh, I don't want to be reckoned. No.
But as I said, that's classic Shafi. But
I love him.
What a top-notch diabetologist. Absolutely.
I will follow Shafi. If he ever moves hospital, I'll follow him wherever he goes, because I don't want another consultant. I think he's just
very, absolutely amazing chap.
Gets it, and I have a great relationship. Like, his patients can text him if they've got a problem, drop him an email. A lot of consultants wouldn't do that. He's honestly, I can't.
He's something very different, very, very special.
I love him to pieces.
And I think, in the national role that I do, I've always been indebted to a few people for the help they've given me to helping make Libra happen, and Shafi would be very much at the top of that list as well. So
no, so I went on Libra for the Fringe, so it was easier to keep on top of my blood sugars and stuff. And then I moved to Dexcom in the December, because I have a lot of nocturnal hypos. I don't have any pattern to to what happens to my blood sugar. And Shafi says to me, he says, because there's no pattern to my life, there's no pattern to my diabetes, because every day is always so different.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to spot any patterns in my levels and stuff. So I moved to Dexcom because I needed that alarm to wake me up, because I would sleep through until it got to the point where someone had to help me, or I'd wake up in the bed, I'd be in a soaking wet bed, like having sweated to death, and I'd be like 1.2 or something ridiculously low, something awful. So that's why I got the Dexcom, because I needed those alarms. But I got a new pump today.
Hey, well done.
I got the Omnipod Dash today.
Very good.
Via what was it, Microsoft Teams. I like the way I like the way that COVID-19 is changing our care. Right. So we had, I had Effie from Insulet and Kirsty from Insulet and the diabetes nurse from the hospital on the call, and we did it all.
You see, type 1 diabetes can be done a lot virtually that way, I would have thought, you know.
Yeah. Well, I do a lot of, Shafi's done the care virtually quite a lot with me for the last 2 or 3, maybe 4 years. But I think not many other people have. No. And now, hopefully, that this situation will
absolutely
more consultants and diabetes nurses to that in that direction, because it's better care and it's not using up as many of your resources and your time as well.
Absolutely. Plus, you know, the whole thing about trying to go to the hospital, park, get your time, all that sort of jazz. Are you going to sort of join the sort of the community, the famous community of looping at some stage, or is that something one step? It's there, maybe.
What I'm waiting for is the official way to do it. The one approved is what I'm waiting for. Because I am a Dexcom warrior and an ambassador for Insulet, I'm not allowed to unofficially do it. Really,
no, I understand.
Doing it,
but the Insulet should be coming out hopefully with their own thing soon. So in which case, perfect.
It's on the cards. Yes. I know what it's called, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say what it's called. But yeah, that's happening at some point. So that's what I'm wanting. I'm waiting for that, because I don't like wires either. So I was offered
Horizon. It's come to me. I can say it.
I didn't know if I could say it or not, but yeah, that's
I can say
what I'm talking about. Yeah, that is coming at some point. So I'm waiting for that. I'm sick of waiting for that. And I told when I was I was on the panel, the Podder panel for Insulet in January, their European conference, and I think it was Europe and Canada, and I told everyone there that I was sick of waiting, basically, for them to get it sorted, because
it is the future. It is the future, and all companies are doing it. And I think that's what we should be doing.
Happen now. I've been expecting it to happen for a couple of years, and it's still not happened. But yeah, I'm hoping it won't be too much longer.
Oh, hopefully not. Fingers crossed. Not too long. Fingers crossed.
We have some comments. Let me click on there. Right. Sorry, I've missed some. So, oh gosh, yes. So. I've missed quite a few. Debbie said hi. Debbie, we were chatting. I don't know if you saw, we were just chatted about you before. We were talking about the Promise Ball North and how that's how the first time me and Partha met, and it's on World Diabetes Day this year. So hi Debbie. She's just said, I haven't read the whole comment. It says, hey Jade, hey Partha, and I didn't read the rest. It says, love the shout out for meeting at the Leeds Ball. Yes.
All stays well, we'll be there again. We'll be there.
She's on the gym tonight. She says she's on the gym. Liz is saying it's because she lives in Jersey. She finds it hard to get over to see it. And she's saying the boat was ridiculous when we were looking at prices. She's hoping to meet us both in the near future. She's on Libra and she has the Omnipod as well. And she says they're life-changing for her. The consultant that recently looked after me for 18 months was absolutely amazing. Parag, wish he could come back to Jersey. Do you know who she's talking about?
Now, I know a couple of Parags. So I know a Parag single. So I don't know whether it's that.
Liz said he was one of the very best, apparently.
I think, you know what? I mean, I think, the diabetes community, to be honest, is blessed with a lot of people around. I mean, I'm always enthused by the camaraderie. I mean, there will always be exceptions, but generally speaking, between healthcare professionals, I mean, we've got people like the DSN Forum, those girls and stuff, they're doing some amazing work, and it's brilliant. People are doing things out of the goodness. And I don't know whether so we set up this thing called the Diabetes 101. And what was great for me, so it was an idea saying, look, hey, let's help people during COVID times. People have worries, and you can understand people with diabetes get flooded with questions. What's going to happen to me? What happens? What should I do? What should I not do? And we just asked people, and it was brilliant. We had people who are consultants, and we had GPs, we had nurses, psychologists, dietitians. Everybody just went, yeah, fine. What do you want? Pharmacists. And it was brilliant. People just said, oh, we'll give up some of our own time to do it. And it was really, really humbling. It was like, wow, so many good people want to help out, and that's brilliant. So I think that's great to see this in this country developing, and it's fine. It's brilliant. I like that sort of thing.
Jenny Rayner, hi Jenny. Jenny's asking, I think she's asking if Shafi's based in the Northeast. Shafi's based in Darlington, where I'm
yes.
from. Oh, here, Liz says, Parag Thawar. Is that how you pronounce
it? Yeah. Very, very good.
He moved back at the end of Feb. Matt Jack says, hi, Jade and Partha. Partha, he's got a question for you. Do you know when Libra 2 will be released in the UK?
Yeah, so 2 or 3 things around it. I think, first of all, we were not very far away from getting things done before the whole COVID-19 hit. And our aim is to try and get it through. We have been quite successful in getting Libra 1 in the system. So it makes sense for Libra 2 to come in. So we're in the middle of negotiations. So hopefully once this whole cloud lifts, we'll be able to restart it and post that as soon as feasible, I would have thought. But no reason not to. It's always my focus to try and get it.
Tell me what's different about it, Partha.
Just alarms. So it will give you an alarm depending on what your levels can be. And then I think the difference between the Dexcom is that you still will have to scan to check what the number is. It will say that it will beep if it's low or high, and then you have to check what high or low means. With Dexcom, obviously, you don't have to do that. So, and as you can imagine, it's the Libra just with some alarms on it. So people would like it, and it's got different things for different people. So that's what it is. That's what the Libra 2 is. A bit like a movie. After Spider-Man 1 comes Spider-Man 2 and all that. But, yeah.
I have a feeling that there's another Dexcom coming out before long, isn't there?
I suspect so. I mean, all the companies. I mean, as we said, what we do have, if you think about it, and it's great. It's fantastic that it's happening, because you want companies to compete with each other so they come up with better products. Because, as you said, the ideal situation is to have something which loops with everything, and you have a pump and a sensor and everything. Yeah. More companies come into it, the price drops.
I am looking at my phone because I've just realised I haven't got my PDM in here, and I'm just messaging Joseph to ask him to bring it in for me. So I don't interrupt the call because it was a bit silly of me not to have it. Can you bring in my PDM, please? There we go. Hopefully you'll see it and bring it through. Right. So we've got some more comments and questions. Let me just work through them because there's quite a lot. There's lots of people watching. If you're watching, please click subscribe if you don't subscribe to my channel already. I try to keep people entertained. Oh, right on cue. Here he is. Oh, no, that's my old one. Oh, I've got it in the room. I had it on the other side of the room. What an idiot. Got my PDM. It's fine. Thank you. I love you. So, yes, if you just joined, click subscribe. Also, I've had a whiskey. I've finished the whiskey. I'm going to pour myself a rum very soon because rum is my favourite. But these are the comments and questions we've had. Brian says hi to both of us, and he says, Brian Hoadley says, Partha, your hair is looking awesome, buddy.
Brian, a beer is on its way whenever we next meet. Thank you very much. Don't tell anybody I paid you to say that, but brilliant. Thanks, mate.
Roz Gray, hi Roz, how are you? She's saying evening all. What are you drinking, Roz? Are you joining us with a beverage? Let us know. People all saying hi to each other. That's nice. I love. Isn't it just? I think the type 1 diabetes community is just such a lovely community. Everyone is so friendly. Maureen McGinn says she's really appreciated the Diabetes 101. Even though I'm working for most of the time, they are live. Maureen, that's what Maureen said. So she's really appreciated it.
Oh, that's
And
great.
Brian said he's loving Diabetes 101, top work to everyone involved. And Annette has agreed. Annette has agreed and said that it's been great. Thanks so much. DSN is saying that they've had a lot of fun with it too. Oh, that's nice. Oh, and guess who we've got? We've got last week's guest, Rebecca. Rebecca, hello. This is so last week. I don't know if you were tuned in, Partha, but I had Rebecca Redmond, who is Frederick Banting's second cousin, 3 times removed.
Wow.
And she's got type 1 diabetes.
Right.
She's just joined us and said
Hi,
hi.
Rebecca. Hiya.
So what's Brian saying? More competition results in better options for patients with diabetes can't be a bad thing.
Not at all. Not at all. I think if you look at what would I like to happen? I would like to get a place whereby people can pick the education they want to do, and they can pick the technology they want to have, right? And, you know, there is no reason we can't do it, if I'm very honest, in a country like ours. And we get there. We get there.
I think that's exactly how it should be. Like, I always have felt with Shafi as my client, always had a range of options. So like there's several pumps I could have. And I did toy with changing, and I spoke to Omnipod at the time about it. I spoke to them and I said, look, I'm thinking, my consultant suggested this one to me, I'm not sure, and it was a wired one, and I'm so used to being wireless, I didn't think I could do the wires, and so I decided to try out the Dash, because you get 90 days to try out Dash. But I think that's true. I think it's like Omnipod and Dexcom, like I have, won't be for everyone. They won't be right. Every single type 1 diabetic person with type 1 diabetes is totally different.
Absolutely.
Totally different. And yeah,
that's what should happen. You know what?
Different thoughts. That's what they say, don't they?
No, absolutely. And I think, you know, you guys, you know, one thing I would say, we've got, as you said, you've got Brian on the call, you've got Ross, you've got Debbie. I think, you know, the interesting thing, and including you, I think you're all very self-effacing people, but I think don't underestimate the work you all do for raising the awareness of type 1 diabetes, because, you know, we are as healthcare professionals, and one of the things I've always said very clearly, I don't have type 1 diabetes. I've got skill sets you don't have. You have got skill sets I would never dream of having, and that's together. And I think one of the, you know, I don't know whether you know and you do know, because you helped us with that, you know, the artist thing that we are doing, right?
Yes.
You know what?
Roz has been asking me for something. I'll give you something, Roz. I will sort something out.
But it's fab to see, you know, when you see people like yourself, I think the main, you know, one of the problems that happens when you say type 1 diabetes, and then you have people who have run a marathon for 25 miles or have run the whole Sahara, and you go like, no, talent can be anything, you know? It doesn't have to be. And I think that's what's good. So I think with you guys sort of showing the way, it's brilliant. I think it's great. It just shows the community, makes it stronger, and helps us in policy role.
Had so many entries to that. You've had so many people.
Yeah.
I think it's been like wonderful seeing all the different things. And I'm surprised, like I'm surprised at how many there are. And it's so lovely to see. It was lots of photographers, isn't there?
Yeah, no, I think the people are, again, you know, if you look at the people who are behind that group, so you've got Ross who's there, I mean, he's helping out massively. There's Sarah Ali, there's, you know, and there's Jazz from India, there's Liz and Adrian, Peter. What they're doing is that they're giving their own time. And you just go like, wow, you know, that's fantastic. And that in itself is brilliant. And that's the community thing, isn't it? So, you know, more power to everybody's arms.
Talking about Roz, she commented with what she's drinking, and I am a fan, and an even bigger fan of you now, Roz, because Roz has got a dark rum with Diet Coke and a slice of lime. I'm going Mount Gay. This is my favourite rum.
It is a good one. I'm going to tell you about a rum. So how are you with, are you good with rum cocktails? I used to do cocktails when I was much younger. So I can tell you about a rum cocktail.
The problem is, a lot of cocktails,
sugar.
I tend to have the sugar or fruit juice. So I like a mojito, and I tend to, if I go out, I'll ask for a mojito without the sugar, because pretty much it's.
So I tell you what, here's your challenge. I can tell you a cocktail right now. You tell me how you can change it by taking out the sugary bits. How's that?
Go on then.
So have you had a zombie cocktail? Sounds very appropriate in present times when we're all living the life of nearly zombies.
I haven't had one. No, I haven't.
So dark rum.
Yeah.
And you need a bit of white rum.
Just putting my lime in. Sorry.
Very
Yeah.
good.
White rum
So
as well. Yeah.
dark rum, white rum. So about 20, 25 mils. And then comes the tricky bits, which is the pineapple juice,
Yes.
which is going to be the sugar-laden thing.
And I love pineapple juice. That's my hypo treatment of choice. Pineapple
Well,
juice.
okay.
Really
So,
sugary.
and ice. So you shake it together. That's it. Okay. Simple, straightforward. And you pour it into one of the large glasses, pack it with ice, pour it in, pack it with ice, pour it in. Okay. And I don't know how much grenadine. Do you think grenadine will have a lot of sugar in it?
It's got to have, it tastes sweet, doesn't it?
Yeah. So a bit of grenadine, and then you've got a slice of orange. That's it. So the only thing you can figure out is your pineapple juice.
Yeah, so you can get I've never seen a pineapple juice cordial, but I've seen like an orange and pineapple juice cordial. I wonder if you could swap it for a cordial, but then would it taste the same if it was?
I don't know. I think the only thing you need to factor in the calculation of what you need to do is your pineapple juice. The rest of it is very simple. So that's what I was trying to think. Well, what sort of cocktail will make it minimal as far as rather than having a massive sugar load. So if you can account for the pineapple juice in that one, which is quite simple, a dark rum, white rum, pineapple juice, grenadine, and a slice of orange, which is nothing, then you have a cocktail you can have and enjoy your rum.
Yeah, it always it annoys me when I go to bars and they have like happy hour and it's 2 cocktails for like, I don't know, like the 1 or whatever. And I'm with friends and they're like, oh, let's get cocktails. I'm like, I look at the menu, I'm like, yeah.
Hey, tell me something. So this is something I've learned from somebody who has got type 1 diabetes as well. How do you know when they serve you a drink in a glass, whether you have got Diet Coke or normal Coke?
See, I can usually tell by the taste, but someone told me you can put a test strip in.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't work on it didn't work on my last Omnipod PDM. It just used to say failure. But some blood glucose meters, you can actually just put a normal test strip in and dip it in their Coke to see. But I can tell by the taste.
I don't know. They all seem to come out from the same thing, in a pub when they're sort of pouring it. And I'm going like, how do you know that's diet and that's just not normal Coke?
Yeah, and I can usually tell by the taste. Because you get that kind of coating on your teeth from full fat Coke as well, don't you? You just feel it on your teeth as soon as no.
Sorry, I've always had full fat Coke. So I have no idea.
Yeah, I can tell the difference normally, but sometimes if I'm not sure, and I'll go back to the bar and say, do you notice it's definitely Diet Coke? And they're not sure. They just replace it for you anyway. They're usually pretty good.
I know. We live in a weird world. I don't know whether you've seen today's slightly changed. Have you seen today's controversy on Twitter? Have you seen that on social media? So hospital staff really struggling and stuff. And somebody's, Krispy Kreme has given donuts to one of the hospital, Royal Free London, to basically say thank you very much for your work. And then somebody's commented on it. How dare you? This is awful. And I'm going like, that's just, you should be ashamed of yourself, people with giving exactly. Yeah, that's the same thing. It's like, so we get
I was like, why?
Why? And when you say why, I was thinking like, look, I'm more interested in what are the toppings. I'm not interested. That's what I'm more interested in.
I think jam donuts are big stuff.
Absolutely. What are the toppings? That's what I'm interested in. So I know. I
don't get what the controversy is though. Why is that wrong that someone's given donuts?
I think somebody feels that this is not the right time to give donuts because it makes people, makes you put on weight, and that's very bad for you. I'm going like, come on, man, give it a break. People are struggling with the way everything's going on.
Doctors are on their feet, and they're on their feet all day. They're more stressed than usual. They'll probably be losing weight. Doesn't matter how many donuts they eat. And
have a donut. Donut's nice. What's wrong with donuts?
I don't buy into a lot of stupid controversy things like that because I just don't have the time.
Hey, you must have seen. Did you see my story about pancakes though? Hey, listen.
No.
What? I tweeted something about having pancakes. Oh my lord! It's as if like I had condemned the whole of mankind to dying of pancakes, and I sort of like, well, I don't know about you, but once in a while, pancakes are bloody good pancakes.
I love pancakes. Literally, it's my favorite day of the year. Wow.
Love it.
Sorry, I've been gossiping too much because we have had loads and loads of comments. So Becca says hi. So she says, agreed. These new therapies and technologies are such an intimate thing. More options equals greater choice for the patient. That's right.
Yep.
Oh, and Ross says she's only having one room because it's a school night, as the DSN forum have stated. Maureen
Sorry,
says
I'm on my third one. I don't know what school night. It's school night, of course, it's school night. Come on, lightweights.
Maureen says that she's on the Tandem T Slim and Dexcom G6 and really loving it. And Brian says no one size fits all in the world of diabetes. That's exactly right, Brian. Every single one of us is totally different.
Yep.
Rebecca's agreeing with Brian. Oh, my son has that on order, Maureen. You need to tell me all about it. Oh, so someone else is getting the Tandem T Slim, I think.
Yeah, good. More choice, the better. More choice, the better.
Oh, and Roz is celebrating because I said I'd send something in. I need to do it, Roz. I've got some poems from the show. I don't know whether to use one. I'll think of something. I'll get something to you. Jenny, she totally agrees. She's based in Yarm. Oh, Jenny, you're just in Yarm. Jenny, we've spoken before. I'm sure we have, haven't we? Anyway, and I was looking forward to Pricks coming to town. Don't worry, it's coming back. Jenny, have they not told you? They're supposed to have sent everyone who bought a ticket the new date. It's in October. I think it's the 20th, but it's on their website. Have a look. Exactly, we're all awesome in our own ways, Brian says. That's too right, Brian, too right. Maureen says, can even put the G6 on my arm now. Yes, that was last week. It was Wednesday last week, or Tuesday last week, I think that was approved for the arm. Yeah, I've got mine on my arm now. When I changed it on Wednesday last week, I put it on my arm because I was like, I can put it on my arm now. I prefer it on my arm. Had you tried it on your arm before? I had. I wasn't allowed to. I'm not supposed to advertise that. Actually, I should probably shut up. Yeah. I prefer it on my arm. Is the bottom line. Roz says, "Great, Jade. Meet you at the bar for a dark rum and Diet Coke after Tad." That's where I'll be, Roz. I'll be at the bar with me rum and Diet Coke after Tad in September, definitely. Yeah. Straight from the bottle, Jade. Hardcore. Oh, that was when I was opening the bottle, I think. Now, Rebecca's saying grenadine is a great low treatment. Yeah, so it's full of sugar. It's full of sugar.
All right. Okay, that's helpful.
The bubbles with Diet Coke is different. That's what Roz said. The bubbles make it different. I've never noticed that.
Oh, Ross, I mean that's new. I've not heard that. What is that? The size of the bubbles or the way the bubbles come out?
Tell us more. What's different about the bubbles? Tell us more.
Yeah, Ross, this is new.
Taste. She can tell. She's like me, Liz. She can tell by the taste. It's been 39 years. You said earlier, Liz. Like 30 years for me. I think you can just tell when it's diet. Brian says, my worst 2 weeks of blood sugar was in Mexico. The cocktails were immense, though. Hashtag once in a while. I like that. I can tell as I'm a Diet Coke addict. That's the DSN forum saying they can tell the difference. Brian says his test strip works on the Contour Next. So apparently, if you put a test strip in a Contour Next and put it in a drink, you can tell.
Fair enough.
DSM forum, hashtag Donutgate. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Brian worked in a bar once, and the state of those lines which delivered the soft drink, and then 3 sickly faces. Yeah, you know what? I worked in a bar once, and we used to get ants in the line and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty rank. What was that? Our friend Malhotra Partha?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So he's the gentleman who's commented on that. I think there's a time and a place. I think at the moment when people are struggling, well, probably not. Probably not is it's not the right time.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Custard donuts are fabulous, Kathy says. I don't mind a custard donut, but my daughter went to buy some donuts in the shop recently and hadn't read the packet and got out and realised they weren't jam, they were donuts, custard donuts, and she was so upset because she does not like custard donuts. Brian, I don't think anyone is going to worry about that when the bar opens. What's Brian on about? Oh, about the lines. Yeah, that's true. Rebecca's off. Bye, Rebecca. And she looks forward to catching up with the full episode later. Ironically enough, she's currently baking donuts to deliver to her dad. She's in Canada. They're not in lockdown yet in Canada. There's social distancing. She's baking donuts right now. I love that. Liz said she saw the pancakes thing and it looks so good. I love pancakes. It's literally my favourite day of the year, Pancake Day. Because
I love pancakes. Love pancakes.
It's only in recent times. I think it's because my brother-in-law had suggested that when my mum was still here, we always went to her house. and my brother-in-law asked for savoury fillings. So it's only in the last few years that I started having a couple of savoury ones and then a couple of sweet ones, like putting like
Okay.
honey mustard chicken in and like meat and cheese and stuff, and then having, it's literally my favourite day of the year. Apparently, Roz says Diet Coke has loads more bubbles and the bubbles stick to the glass differently. After her 36 years of experience, we noticed these things, she says.
So all I want to know, does Roz notice these subtle differences when she gets more drunk?
Oh, that's a really good question, Roz. Do you realise, do you know when you've had, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 rums, do you realise?
Because it sounds like that sort of night, isn't it? When you start noticing bubbles sticking to your glass more, you know, I don't know about you, but I've always noticed those sort of things after I've had a fair few drinks. What about you, Jay?
So you think it might just be a drunken imagination?
I don't think this is science. I don't think this is science.
We're going to have to go shortly, Partha, and send in your last few questions, guys. And please, if you haven't already, do click subscribe to my channel while you're here. But do send in the last few questions. But we're going to have to go just simply because I always try and end it before the GB Doc tweet chat starts.
Yeah.
I don't want to encroach on their time at all.
Absolutely.
So do head over to that after here if you fancy a bit more diabetes chat. But
sure.
No, Roz says she discovered it when she was sober. So she says it's not something she's discovered whilst drunk. She discovered it sober.
All right. Okay. Fair
enough. Yeah. So we'll wrap up. We'll wrap up here, Partha, because I don't want to encroach on their time, and people will need a comfort break if they're going to go sit on Twitter for a while. So it's been absolutely lovely chatting to you
as ever.
And hopefully it won't be too long before we can get drunk together again soon.
No, absolutely. It's always a pleasure, Jade. You're doing some, and I think I'll finish my bit by saying that, first of all, I think you're doing some amazing work, raising the profile of type 1 diabetes.
Thank you so much.
I know the circumstances under which you also did last year's TAT. So, you know, and that has always been hugely appreciated for what you did. And I'm sure
my mum never have forgiven me if I didn't go ahead with that performance.
Well, not only that, wherever she is, she always looks down at you and must be very, very proud of what you do. So, you know, fantastic. Please carry on with the good work. It's really appreciated.
I'll try my best. I really will. I really will. And next week, I'll just let you know who I've got next week. My guest next week is Jamie Lowe, as in Jamie Lowe TV. He's a TV presenter. Jamie's lush. I recorded his podcast with him yesterday. That's been released next Wednesday also, so definitely check that out. But yeah, I've got Jamie Lowe on next week, so join me for Prick Me Up next week. Partha, thank you so much for all of your time.
Pleasure. Really thank you.
And thanks for everything you do for us type 1 people with type. I need to use the language properly, don't I? I'm not a healthcare professional, so I don't have to, but for everything you do for people with type 1 diabetes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank